Hi guys, NoelleTalks here, coming to you to bring you a book review. I am here every Monday, bringing you the generalities of life. I talk about a variety of topics. This is not a niche site. This is just a generality site where I talk a little bit about everything that life has to offer. So today I'm going to be giving you, as I said, a book review. It's going to be on the book Michael and Me by Shana Mangatal. Shana Mangatal. Shana Mangatal has been named by the media Michael Jackson's secret girlfriend. She's not a secret anymore. She's out of the closet. Thumbs up to you, Shana. I have read a lot of books about Michael Jackson. There's only a couple of them that I really believe. Dr. Conrad Murray, some of his books, and then another book that was written by this close associate of Michael. He was with Michael since he was a little boy, and then he grew up to work for Michael. I can't remember his name. It was a good book. And now, of course, the book by Shana Mangatal, Michael and Me. This book was a very good read. I have to say, I knew this book had been out a while, and I never chose to read this book because I just thought it was going to be a book of a woman that has made a lot of fabrications and fantasies up about Michael Jackson, because no woman has ever stepped forward, except those two wives, and just really one of them, that really said she had an interpersonal romantic relationship with Michael Jackson. That deemed him and made him out to be the heterosexual male that I know he is. So anyway, let's get back to Shana. Shana Mangatal did an excellent job on this book. I believe her. I've been around a while. I know I'm a pretty good judge of character. The things that she wrote about in this book can't be a lie. And then she has receipts to back them up. Well, you know what I mean by receipts. It means proof. Nowadays they call it receipts. So she has receipts to back up her claims. She was really with the King of Pop. She was really his secret girlfriend. And she was truly a secret because Michael always wanted her to keep everything a secret. He would always say, don't tell anybody, don't tell anyone, you're not going to tell anyone, this is a secret, shh, Michael. First of all, I think that she did a good job on the book. She met Michael when she was very young. I'm not going to tell you how she met him. You'll have to buy the book to read it, but she met him. He was flirtatious toward her the first time he met her, and every other time thereafter he met her. So he stayed consistent in his, affection for her, or his interest in her, I should say. She loved Michael very much. Michael was very captivating. She said Michael was very attractive in person, even without the makeup on. He really looked great. He was always very nice to her. And I want to say respectful. However, when I got to reading the book, it shed a new light on Michael Jackson as being a human man, heterosexual man. I think sometimes he needed to be really put in his place, and she never did it. She never really put him in his place like I think he should have been put in his place, and like I think she even knows he should have been, because, he was King of Pop. She wanted his interest to wane. She was a little bit nervous about, her relationship with Michael. Michael kept her on. We know Michael loved amusement park rides. He kept this girl on a roller coaster. Well, she was a girl then. She's a woman now. She stayed on a constant roller coaster with Michael Jackson. I don't think that was real nice. But that's Michael Jackson. He, owned the world, can do what he wants, wherever he wants, can treat people however he wants to treat them, and get away with this. But, she should have put him in his place sometimes. I think he strung her along, but not really strung her along. He never really made her feel that he didn't want her. He liked her. He was always calling her job, because she worked at a management company that managed Michael. Michael was always calling there, having conversations with her, and people were telling her Michael had a crush on her and all this other stuff. And I think from what she was telling me in the book, Michael liked her very much. But really what got me in the book was that she knew Michael before his first marriage. She actually was talking to Michael when he got married to Lisa. But Michael didn't tell her he got married to Lisa. She heard it through the media in that office. He never said it, and he finally admitted it. And she said, "Well, that's nice, Michael. I hope you're happy." All this kind of stuff, which she had to be crushed. I think at times Michael was like dropping some real bombs on her. I mean, he was dropping stuff on her so heavy. I don't know how a young person of her age could have withheld all that he put her through. Because I certainly would have spoke up to him. I don't care, king or pop or not. Michael needed to be put in his place. However, she loved Michael. He liked her. They flirted back and forth, They, had their little thing. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened because I want you to read the book. What else can I say about Michael? When he married Lisa, and after he got a divorce, she said someone in her office or someone had told Michael, "You should have married Shana." So Michael told Shana that. He told Shana, he said, "Such and such told me I should have married you instead." And she said, "You should have." And so I'm thinking when Michael told her that, he was trying to like throw the ball out there and test the water to see what she would think about being married to him. But by her being a young woman, she didn't really know what to say. So she told Michael, he said, "I think someone told me I should have married you instead." She said, "You should have." What she should have said was, You should have married me. You still can. When can we set a date?" She should have just blasted him. Really, because Michael really liked her. And I think if she had put Michael on blast just a little bit more, he would have married her. Because between those two women that he did marry, and then Shana was like in between, always there, whatever, she was the best choice for a wife. Because, he married he married Lisa Marie Presley. He didn't love Lisa. It's very apparent he loved Lisa. And let me tell you why he didn't love Lisa. He didn't love Lisa because when I saw that video that he made with her where she was nude except for this little sheer scarf wrapped around her, I said, there is no way that a man who loves a woman would parade her in front of the world naked like that so he can make a video. He would have never did it. Because number one, she's already popular. I don't know if she's so much a celebrity, but she's famous. And then if you put her out there in that light, partially nude, 95% nude, what about all the crazy she's going to attract? The stalkers, maybe some possible rapists who want to think about raping her or kidnapping her. Why would you open her up to that if you really loved her? So he didn't love her. Because most men, when they love a woman, they don't even want another man looking at their woman with clothes on. They don't want you looking at her rear end, her breasts, nothing. They don't even want you to say anything to their woman when they love their women. So they certainly wouldn't want to put their woman out there nude. That's what proved to me Michael was not in love with her. She served a purpose, and I think that when her purpose was served, Michael distanced himself, and then they got divorced. And then he married Debbie Rowe. Y'all know why he married Debbie Rowe? Because he was coming about those child allegations, molestation allegations, whatever. And he wanted to clear himself. And he wanted some children. And he knew he probably couldn't, adopt children from regular agency because of his court, his court trials and stuff. So he took the next best thing, smoking. She offered to have those babies, and he took it. I don't know if he necessarily wanted to have white children. He did, though, when he had 3 white kids and 2 white wives. But anyway, nevertheless, he had those children by Debbie Rowe. I seriously don't think there was any relationship there. They were friends. So that's that. So then you have Shana. Shana. I think Michael really liked Shana. But I think Michael knew that if he married Shana, see, when he married Lisa didn't move in with him. So he still could pretty much come and go and do what he wanted to do and be single, whatever he wanted to do. He wasn't in love with Lisa anyway. So if he married, and then he had the children by Debbie Rowe and married her, she still lived where she lived, wherever, so she wasn't in his house, in his domain. But if he married Shana, he knew it would be a real marriage. And I think he really, really liked Shana, and possibly even loved Shana, loved her enough not to put his life on her. In a sense that, Michael Jackson had that beast on him. He had to feed the beast, because we all know he was addicted. And Shana was around during that time. And had he married Shana and brought her home to be the lady of the manor of Neverland Valley, then he would have had to reveal a lot of himself. And I don't think Michael Jackson had good self-control of himself at that point. He was addicted. But I think he really liked that Shana. From what she's saying and just the little things about him and her, he really liked this Shana woman. He really liked her. And they made really a cute looking couple, but Shana, she agreed to whatever Michael wanted, whatever he put down, don't tell anybody, be quiet, shh, it's a secret and all this other stuff. He can very much control her, but she was a lot younger than him. And she wasn't really, she didn't really have the adult maturity or experience in an interpersonal romantic relationship with a man to really know how to handle Michael. Because it would have took a woman with some serious experience to handle him. I would have handled that Michael. He needed to be handled. And sometimes he needed to be put in his place. And sometimes he was a little bit, I'm not going to say selfish, but I'm just going to say maybe unaware. But he was probably always so busy. He was like a piece of spaghetti with 1,000 strings pulling at him. So he couldn't really focus in on what he needed to focus in on. But I think all in all, he loved Shana. And she said he treated her very nice on the set of Ghost when he had her in his video Ghost. You can go online and look it up and see it. She was really cute. And, Michael was looking good then. He was about 37. I think Shana was about 25, 26. So they could have been really it couple, but Michael had other issues. And I know sometimes Shana, how she probably felt with him marrying Lisa, that dropped that bomb. And then he turned around and married Debbie Rowe, dropped that bomb. All this was dropped on her. During his time of knowing her and relating with her, all this was dropped on her, and Michael tried to keep it a secret, but the media, it got out, she found out about it, and so Michael had to own up to it. Like most men, when they do stuff they're not supposed to do, they own up to it later on, or, you have to call them out on it. But Shana was always nice to Michael. What she wrote in the book, she was always nice and respectful to Michael. She just loved the ground he walked on. She worshiped the ground he walked on. He was everything to her. And I think he felt the same way, but he just had so many other issues pulling at him, His life was always so big. I always say Michael Jackson's, life was more than he can handle. And I just really wish I knew who gave him those drugs first. And I'm always thinking, why would they do that to him? But, that's the way life is, He's not with us. He was a great performer. Shana was his secret girlfriend. There has been no other woman who has came out and said she had a relationship with Michael. No other, just, I'm not going to say regular, because it's not that she's any less than Lisa or Debbie or anything like that. But no other, woman has came out with this claim. And she was around him. She worked in his industry. So yeah, Shana Mangatal, thumbs up to you. Because we always wondered about Michael Jackson. And she was saying that Michael was, I will tell you this, she was saying that Michael was certainly more experienced than he, portrayed himself to be. His image of being soft and shy. She said he was nothing like that. Michael was a real man. Put it like that. He was a real man every sense of the word. Okay, let me get a little drink. Gotta get my drink on. But I loved her book. And I loved her book very much. And I listened to it on audio. It was very good. I liked that she read her book on audio. Because, most authors don't read their own book. She really sounded great, And she really drove in the points about the relationship that needed to be. But I'm going to tell you, Michael. That Michael was something else. I'm telling you, it really took a woman, a real woman, solid woman with a lot of experience to whip him into shape. Because he needed to be whipped into shape. He just was having himself a good time. Pretty much having his cake, eating it too, and then licking the crumbs up. That Michael Jackson was something else. Don't let that little cute baby face fool you. He was something else. And so anyway, Shana dealt with him, and I just think that Michael probably would have married Shana. That even after they kind of like had been apart for a while, they were always brought back together. It was like always the forces of life brought them back together. So I'm thinking Michael probably knew he should have married Shana, and I think Michael probably wanted to marry Shana, but he had that beast on his back of addiction, and so that just wouldn't have. It would have been a horrible marriage, and I think Michael was old enough to know that, and until he could clear himself of that, and I don't think he ever really did. It was a hard struggle, and I'm sure he tried. It was a hard struggle, but until he got that monkey off his back, he really couldn't go with anybody because he really wasn't. He couldn't give anything to anyone else because he wasn't really giving anything true to himself with that situation going on. I know it was a struggle, and being in love and being addicted to drugs, it's got to be mind-blowing. I mean, I just can't even imagine going through something like that. And Shana, little young, sweet Shana, waiting diligently for Michael at every turn. She waited for Michael, and Michael knew it. And I'm sure he probably had told himself a lot of times, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get this monkey off my back, and I'm going to marry Shana. Because she would have been perfect for Michael. She just would have been perfect for Michael Jackson. I personally thought he should have married me. Michael Jackson didn't know me. He knew Shana. Shana was the one brought into his life, not me. So Shana should have been the woman that Michael Jackson married. I think she's still friends with the family. The family likes her and everything. She's very likable. I'm telling you, I wasn't going to read this book. I passed over this book many times in my selection of Audible under the books from Michael Jackson, and I saw this book, and I'm not going to read that book. That book is going to be some garbage. That book was very good. That book was very real. That book was very raw. Shana did an excellent job on that book. I love the book. I love the story. It brought you, and by her reading it, it just like sealed the story, because when she read it, because I heard it on tape. She read it with conviction. If something happens to a person, they can tell you the story better than someone else can repeat the story. They can really tell you the heartfelt story. So you really felt her heart and how she felt as a woman. And the things that Michael would pull on her, you knew how she felt as a woman having that done. It wasn't nice. I mean, I'm just assuming her pillow was soaking wet many nights crying about Michael. Because Michael really needed to be put in check. He like Shana, don't get me wrong. But you know what they say, give them an inch and they'll take them out. So anyway, yeah, that book was great. She did a great job. And I asked them come to really, I don't know her personally, but what she's shown through her book and the reading of her book, and then I checked out a couple of her other videos, everything is just right on point with her. You just can't help but like her, that's it. So Michael had gotten married to her. All the women who loved Michael, they would have been jealous on the onset. But after they got to know Shana, they would just love Shana just like they love Michael. I just thought that they would have been an excellent couple together. And I'm sure Michael thought that, but Michael had that problem that he just couldn't, get off his back. And so, like I say, I'm sure Michael would have married her, and I'm sure he wanted the best for her. But she said that when Michael married Debbie Rowe and she found out about it, she read it in the tabloids at the grocery store, whatever. And she was thinking to herself, well, am I not good enough for Michael? Am I not good enough to marry him and have his children? Am I not blonde enough? It was not that at all, Shana. It was none of those things above. It's that Michael thought he wasn't good enough for you because he knew what monkey and demon he had riding his back. And he didn't think he was good enough for you. It had nothing to do with you. He probably thought you was too good for him. Because, he when he thinks about himself, I'm sure he never thought about all that money attached to him and fame and power. He thought about the person on the inside. And he probably thought, what would she want with me? Because he's thinking I'm on drugs. But not knowing she may not know it or know anything of it. But, I'm sure that, he probably thought he wasn't good enough for Shana. But, he certainly was good enough for Shana, and she was good enough for Michael. And I wish they had made a union, because I think they would have had a happy life together. They seem to always both be smiling, and they always seem to be, happy all the time. So I think they just would have been two happy people together. We would have loved them together, but, it didn't happen. Okay, now, I told you I was going to tell you about the book. I didn't hit in on the real good points because I want you to buy the book, read the book, borrow the book, however you get it. You got to read it for yourself because you're going to get something out of this book when you read it. You're really going to be, it's going to shed a whole new light on Michael Jackson, a whole new light, not in a bad way, but in a human way. So those are the good points about the book. Now, what I didn't like about their love affair, I'm not going to say necessarily the book, Because Shana wrote the book with so much conviction that it can't be a lie. Because she never sugarcoated herself in the book. Now, one time, I mean, in essence, what I'm trying to say, without really trying to be so direct, I'm a Sagittarius, so I really don't have a filter on what I say, but it sounded like Michael was dogging her out. And she was taking the bullets. I mean, she was taking them, bam, bam, bam. And I'm just like, if this was a lie, nobody would write a book and say Michael dogged them on any point. No woman in the world. She would put herself in a real good light. But I do like the fact that Shana did say she felt like a queen when she was with Michael. And she was appreciative of any of the time he gave her or whatever he, I guess did for her. She was appreciative toward it. But I think Michael should have been much more appreciative that somebody would want to put up with him with all that nonsense he put him through. But, that's life. And I know the only thing I didn't read in the book, I didn't read about them actually like dating, going on dates. I didn't read about like Michael giving her gifts or anything, which not to say that you have to have all that in a relationship, but money, romance without finance is nuisance. And we all know money makes the world go round. Yes, I have to hit on that point. I am by no means a sacker. I'm not sacking for a man's money or change or whatever you want to call it. Absolutely not. But when you got a man like Michael Jackson on the table with like almost $1 billion, come on now. He should be giving up something. And I never heard her say that he gave her anything like that she could really, something to live on, to grow on. But then she never really said she asked. So maybe Michael was one of those men where he didn't really know what you wanted or needed because you had to ask for it. But she loved him so much, she could hardly ever really have a conversation with him because she didn't want to offend him, it sounded like. And I'm sorry, but Michael Jackson, with all that he had, and it was me and I was her situation, I'm sorry. The king would have had to pay up. I mean, not pay up for me or my love, but he would have had to give me something. I'm sorry. Something besides all the bullets he shot at her and all the boulders he dropped on him, marrying this woman and marrying that woman. I'm sorry. He would have had to do something. I mean, come on. Michael or not. Michael was, it's coming with a trough of cash. But, I'm sure Michael never thought about his money because he had it. But Shana didn't have the kind of money Michael had. Shana worked every day. Shana had to pay bills. I'm thinking, what planet was Michael on? You like this woman, and you kind of not doing right by her the right way. Okay, guys, I'm back again. I'm sorry about that interruption. My camera had to be recharged. We're talking about the Michael and Me book by Shana Mangatal. His secret girlfriend, at least that's what the media calls her. She's out now, thumbs up to her. I kind of lost my train of thought of what I was talking about. But I think I was talking about money and Michael Jackson and his girlfriend. And how I think he should have set his girlfriend up. He had more than enough money. He should have bought her a house, bought her a car, paid the taxes on the house up for 10 years, put the house in her name, and gave her a monthly stipend. Because I'm sure from reading her book sometimes, she might have felt like Michael was maybe using her or taking advantage of her, and she wasn't really getting anything that she wanted out of it because he was sure to say what he wanted. Be quiet. Keep it a secret. He wasn't, he was vocal about what he wanted. So, and in lieu of the fact that Shana gave him something so special, she gave him something that was worth its weight in gold as far as relationships go. You have to read the book to find out exactly what it was. It wasn't just her being his girlfriend and being there. It was something more than that, something very endearing. And, he kind of like took advantage of it, but, give him an inch, they'll take a mile. But it was a good book. It was like a fairy tale because I always looked at Michael Jackson like a modern day prince. Even though he called himself the king of pop, I looked at him always like a modern day prince. He just seemed to be so perfect, but we know that he was by no means perfect. He was human. And to human is to make errors. And it was a great story. She wrote a great book. She narrated herself. I loved it. You guys should certainly get a copy. This is Noelle. I'm back again, still talking about the King of Pop and Shana. It's just something else I want to add. I'm sorry I had to do this video in so many sections. I usually don't have to, but this camera kept running out of juice. So anyway, on his Invincible album, there is a song called Whatever Happens. At the end of that song, the background is coming in, and they're saying Shana's name. They're saying Shana na na, ooh Shana na. So yeah, Michael acknowledged her that way. That's an acknowledgement right there that she was certainly with the King of Pop. But you know, it seems like Michael had a lot of like control over Shana with all this secret, quiet stuff. And then, and Shana's book was called Michael and Me. And I'm just wondering, why didn't she name herself in the title of the book? It's as though Michael was still like controlling her from beyond, telling her to keep it a secret. So if you just read the title, Michael could be anybody, and then Me, that's everyone in the world. So you know, I just wish she had named that book Shana and Michael Jackson, King of Pop. She should have just put her name right beside his, and don't think of herself as a Me, because that's how Michael, that's the control he had over her. He had that kind of control. You know, she was younger than him, and so he probably seemed like the head honcho in town, and of course, you know, big man. But yeah, Shana and Michael, what a cute union. So I just wanted to come in and add that because I forgot to add it earlier. So anyway, Shana did a good job once again. Love the book. You guys have got to read this book. You'll love it too. Once again, I am NoelleTalks. Thank you. I'm going to go and edit this video. I'm so tired now. I don't know how it's going to editing is going to come out, but anyway. And once again, I am NoelleTalks. I'm here every Monday. I am not sponsored. However, there will be a link left below if you guys want to check the book out, you know, purchase a copy of the book or get it on Kindle, or you can go to audible.com and listen to it. I like to listen to books because I can do two things at one time, listen to the book while I'm doing my work. So that's great for me. As I said, another thing I want to say before I go. I read the book about Michael Jackson the book that Michael Jackson security guards wrote, and they said Michael always carried a briefcase with between $200,000 to $300,000 in. You know, Michael had so much money he could use a wallet because he just floated. He had a trough of cash. That's why I'm thinking he should have did right by Shana just a little bit better than what he did. But you know, like they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and if you don't ask, you won't get. So. You know, but he had a lot of money with him all the time. In a lot of videos I've watched of Michael, I notice when he comes into these places or events or venues or whatever, sometimes he'd have a briefcase under his arm, and then once he really got into the place he was going into, he'd hand the briefcase off to the security guard. So I guess that was his wallet with all that money in it. He should have opened it up, gave Shana a couple of stacks, you know, really. So anyway, that's just my opinion. The book is great. Thumbs up on that book. I loved it. It was a great book. I've read many books, as I say, on Michael Jackson, but this is the first book I ever read of a woman claiming to have had a interpersonal romantic relationship with Michael. Not claiming, but she really did. You know, this is really a true story. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I am NoelleTalks. I'm here every Monday talking about the generalities of life. And also, I want you guys to remember, if things didn't go the way you wanted them today, tomorrow is always a new beginning. So once again, this is NoelleTalks. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you click the little bell next to the subscription button, you'll be notified every time I upload. I upload every Monday. I am talking about the generalities of life. This is NoelleTalks. Thank you, guys, and have a nice day.